Present before the court is Ms. Clark, represented by Mr. Moss, and we have Mr. View from the prosecutor's office, Officer Bridgman from probation. We are here today for sentencing. Has everybody had the opportunity to review the PSI?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Other than what was contained.
Welcome back to L'Oreality. Today we are in the courtroom with Ms. Clark, a repeat drug offender facing serious prison time. Despite her defense attorney pleading for mercy due to her tragic past and her current battle with an aggressive form of cancer, the prosecution is pushing for a hefty multi-year sentence. Will the judge show leniency, or is time finally up for Ms. Clark?
In the motion for continuance, Mr. Moss, any reason not to go forward with sentence today?
No, Your Honor.
Or jail days?
8 days.
8 days of jail time credit. Mr. View, on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, consistent with the plea agreement with the defense, as the court's aware, Ms. Clark has a prior history of trafficking, prior prison sentences imposed due to her drug trafficking history. And based upon that, I think in terms of the 4 cases, the state's recommendation is to count 3 that the court impose a minimum definite mandatory term of 8 years to a maximum indefinite term of 12 years, and that she received concurrent sentences as to counts 1, 5, and 7.
Mr. Moss?
Your Honor, we disagree with that sentencing recommendation. I've read for the first time here in the PSI, and I understand this. My client, this isn't something people like to talk about, her history of sexual abuse and trauma, which corroborates what I'm arguing is this is a drug addict who basically is on the spoke. There's a hub of drug trafficking, and then there are spokes, the people out in the street who do the transfers. Any funds obtained from that, she used methamphetamine. She's a drug addict. And I looked through her PSI, and this isn't finding fault with anyone else, but she kind of slipped through the cracks in terms of rehabilitation. She'd be off the street during her time. Another trauma in her life. Apparently she has a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, major depressive order, PTSD. Case of self-medication. I've seen many cases like this. When I was in New Mexico, I represented many females in similar situations. She was employed, and she was released on bond and didn't have any dirty UAs, which is actually not par for the course. Usually they have all kinds of problems once they get out, but the one thread that ran through it, in my experience doing this many years, was sexual abuse. Whenever someone engages in criminal activity as a result of trauma or some type of mental illness, it's different than if they're just profiting off other people's addictions. The state's actions help support the fact that she's not dangerous. As I pointed out in my motion, these are controlled buys in which the state was involved in each one. And each time she was sent home, each time they set something else up again, sent her home again. If there was any threat that she had firearms or was selling contaminated drugs or trying to get people to overdose and die, she would have been arrested after the first sale. Contend that in terms of protecting the public, a much lower sentence is needed. In fact, I think she's proven that through her actions in employment and staying off drugs, that she's not a danger at all, as long as she's supervised. The second half of this is what we've talked about prior to court, and I thank the court for being willing to consider staying the execution of the sentence, is this person is at rock bottom in life. I don't know how more of a dire situation she could be in and still be present with us today. She's facing a life-threatening illness, which is going to require a lot of very uncomfortable treatments to even survive. She's been a very pleasant client to represent. She also informs me, and again, this is a personal thing, her 8-year-old daughter's in Cincinnati Children's Hospital this morning. They're going to be going right there after this hearing, if the court allows it, she's in surgery. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around what my client is going through. Your Honor, I would ask for I know the court's already sentenced her twice. 3 times, but for drug trafficking twice. And she's let you down. But the PSI is recommending mental health treatment.
after her defense attorney details her horrific medical diagnosis and mentions that her young daughter is currently undergoing surgery in another hospital. The judge gives Ms. Clark a chance to speak for herself. Listen closely as she breaks down in tears, begging the court to believe that her brush with death has finally forced her to change her destructive lifestyle.
What do you want to tell me, Ms. Clark?
I just want to apologize to the courts. I've had a life-changing experience going through life, knowing that I might not have a life to live much longer, and I realized that I've messed up my life, my whole life, and I've hurt the community, and, I look at life a lot differently right now, and I'm really trying to do better. Like, I've gotten married, I'm in my kids' life, I have an awesome relationship with my kids now. I've never had that before. I have my family here with me today. Knowing the fact that you sit in a hospital and they tell you that you have cancer and that it's an aggressive cancer, and even if when I go through my cancer treatments and my chemo, that the likelihood of it coming back is very, very high. I'm scared. All I want is my family now. I've don't talk to anybody that I used to have contact with. I've completely changed my life. I've moved. I am now living with my mother. I'm not in Warren County anymore. I've removed myself from the people, places, and things that I'm supposed to. I'm right now concentrating on my health and living every day that I have to be with my family and be positive.
But the judge is not entirely convinced by her tears. Having dealt with Ms. Clark's criminal cases since 2013, he reminds her of the countless second chances, probation periods, and rehab programs she has already burned through over the years. If you want to see more intense courtroom breakdowns like this one, make sure to subscribe to L'Oreality for new videos every week.
And try to get myself together.
Ms. Clark, you and I have known each other for a long time. Sent you to prison for the first time back in 2013, back in the days when we used to still cook meth, and people would go around the community collecting stuff. It's been the same story, Ms. Clark, pretty much the entire time, and I don't think it is either fair or accurate for it to be represented that we have not done everything that we could do in our power to try to put you back on track. You were on probation with me for a while. We tried prison, we tried judicial release, we tried supervision, we tried everything that we could do.
And I'll be real honest with you, Honor. I wasn't ready then. I didn't care about my life at that point in time. I really didn't. I didn't care about shit, And I'll be honest with you, not long ago, I still didn't care. But when everything got taken from me, and I got told that I could lose my life, that I could lose my leg, my thinking of stuff it scares me. It scares me to lose my life.
I don't want to minimize that, Ms. Clark, because I get what a life-changing experience that could be. And I mean, I hope things come out okay with the surgery in your daughter. I mean, you were on supervision with me when you had your daughter. I mean,
Yes.
I have a picture of your daughter right here in my notes from when she was born. So, I mean, we've been through life-changing experiences also before. This is just a punishment case, Ms. Clark.
The moment of truth arrives. The judge officially hands down a strict 6-year consecutive prison sentence. making it clear that this is strictly a punishment case. However, in an unexpected twist of judicial mercy, he stays the execution of her sentence for a few months, allowing her the freedom to undergo her critical cancer treatments before she goes behind bars.
That's all it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 3 to 4.5 years on each of the felony twos. They're going to be served concurrently with one another. So you have a 3-year mandatory prison term. It's presumed that you're released at the minimum term, but the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections can, under certain circumstances, keep you up to the maximum penalty. I'm going to sentence you to 36 months in prison on the F3. I'm going to order that these be served consecutively, one after another, for a total of 6 years in prison. The F2s, the mandatory time will be served first, so you have to get that mandatory time out of the way, and then you will begin serving the consecutive sentence for the F3. We have an indigency affidavit, I assume, somewhere, Mr. Moss, right? Mr. Moss, we have
That's what I didn't get done with because I was out there talking.
Okay, where is it these days? Where we keep moving it around? I do find that you're indigent for the purposes of fines and costs. There will be no financial sanction in the case. You're also subject to the post-release control that we talked about a couple of minutes ago. That means the adult parole authority is going to supervise you, and if you violate the terms of that supervision, then you can be returned to prison for up to 1/2 of my original sentence. Or if you violate by committing a new felony, then you can be returned to prison for up to 1 year or the amount of time you have left on post-release control. It's automatically whichever of those is the longer period. I'm going to stay the imposition of this sentence, and I'm going to set this for a status conference sometime in June. I'm not going to continue to put this off indefinitely, Ms. Clark, but I do realize that you are probably at a critical point in your treatment. So you're going to continue to remain on supervision until that time with pretrial. Anything else? Anything I forgot?
Your Honor, maybe I misheard you, but the indefinite term on counts 3, 5, and 7 is 4.5. It's
3 to 4.5. Is that not what I said?
That's what I was saying. I wasn't sure if I heard you. I thought you said 3 to 4. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm sorry. It's 3 to 4.5.
Yeah.
Because it's 1/2 of the.
Yes.
It's 50% of the mandatory term. All right. Anything else? All right. You do have the right to appeal this to the 12th District Court of Appeals in Middletown. If you don't have the funds to hire a lawyer to obtain a transcript or to pay the costs, they'll all be provided to you at no charge. Mr. Moss, why don't you go ahead and give us a temporary bill in the case, but I do want to keep you on for the status conference. I don't want you to have to wait 5 months to bill for this case, though. So let's go ahead and get a status conference sometime in June.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay? All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Clark.
Thank you.
All right. So we ready for our Zoom?
Jason Adams.